Hello, everybody, and welcome back to this episode of Peculiar Prattling. I want to let you guys know that this episode and every other episode is also sponsored by our normal sponsor, MyPire.com. If you go to MyPire.com and put in code PetFarms, you can save 10% off of anything you purchase there. And they have anything from the energy drink things that people like to buy, which is actually really good. That one is like great Kool-Aid. It tastes really freaking good. And then you got the melatonin gummies that I have there. They have some CBD gummies. They have all kinds of stuff. And they also sell like keyboards and game controllers and all kinds of stuff like that too. So there's that. And then you can also check out petfarms.com. You can send donations without connecting anything to Facebook or YouTube or whatever. That goes directly into that. And patreon.com/petfarms is another place to, you know, donate if you want to support the stream. Now I'm going to hand it off to myself and JJ. Thanks for watching, guys.
That's it. That's what we were thinking.
The way that it normally works is usually JJ and me, usually if I'm playing, we'll come up with this crazy plan of like, we need to do this, and this, and we'll sneak around. Our characters will be doing this like stealth mode kind of thing, and then you got Tanner that just runs in, kills the first thing he sees.
Eventually, we're going to reach the point where like, okay, Tanner, you go around front, distract, and we'll sneak around back, take them out behind.
Well, actually, you did do that in this campaign.
Yeah.
That was when you captured that dude with him not paying attention.
Yeah.
Because you just like slapped the cuffs on him while he was sitting there.
Yeah.
But
I'm surprised I talked us out of that fight though.
with the streaming stuff, we try to play it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we want our audience to be entertained as much as possible.
As much as we do in those situations.
And if we know if we were sitting there watching the stream, we would want a little more action. We would want a little more like the fighting amongst each other is kind of part of that.
Again, diversity.
We kind of try to like diversify the content, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And some of it's just pure acting. Some of it's just random off the cuff.
Like my paladin. Yes, he is a paladin. I did notice that sometimes it seems like you keep forgetting he's vengeful.
Yeah.
Like, do we need, like, I want to smite it. Like, we need to talk. I'm vengeful paladin. This will work.
I do forget that, and it's weird because I'm like the most strange DM when it comes to things, because sometimes I'll forget things, but I'll just make stuff up, and it just works.
Yeah.
Somehow it just molds together.
Ain't those usually our best viewed videos?
Usually, yeah. And it's usually stuff that it's like, this isn't in the book, but this is super entertaining.
It's like, for example, that Dragon Camp, again, probably going to stay away from that one for a while, because it's meant for a bigger group, because can't do much with 2 players.
That's all your thing. Like, if that's what you want to do, I'm totally fine with it. Which is probably why we focus more on this one.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to finish this one as soon as possible and start Star Wars again.
Yeah.
Because everybody enjoys Star Wars.
Oh, yeah. I want to be my droid again. Echo.
And I really just miss the game. Just in general. I've got an idea for an NPC. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, a couple of them. One of them's kind of stupid, but he's going to be probably the character everybody likes.
Yeah, I'm going to be playing with a secondary character.
And I think I've got an idea on how to those others play this. I think I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Anyway, that just randomly popped into my head. But you can have your normal like serious campaigns, and then you can have the ones like we do, where you see from other content creators where it's like we're doing the most possible to make the most content out of it. We're legitimately just trying to make people laugh, and we want to enjoy it ourselves, so we do stuff.
There's a reason we have entertainment in our channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pet Farms is called Pet Farms Entertainment because we would like to entertain people.
We like to have fun making people laugh.
And that's as long as we can make ourselves laugh, usually that's the best part of it. But if we can make ourselves laugh, usually we know someone out there is going to laugh also. So there's
if my dad watches these videos, there's times We made him cry laughing.
Yeah, he's told me a couple times that our videos are pretty funny sometimes. But it's like a hit and miss.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you have the serious episodes that people don't want to watch.
Yeah.
Because
you can't have any series without having those.
Because you have to have those like character development episodes. Yeah. You have to have those ones where you just go buy stuff.
You can't have for example, Star Wars. You can't have nothing but battles because eventually that does get boring.
Plus, they're Jedi.
Yeah,
we're playing a Jedi campaign, so like you're the good guy. You're the guy that's not going out trying to murder everything.
like my droid.
Unless you watch the movies, then they're kind of murdering everything except they're Jedi.
Yeah.
But anyway, like with our D&D stuff, we're not inherently evil. We're not altogether good, though.
Chaotic.
It's kind of a mix of the two because it depends on the character.
Which reminds me, alignment.
That is something we missed.
Yes. If you're gonna create a character, your best bet is start off chaotic neutral and then just go from there. It's like people.
I always just go a step further, and I just go straight neutral with my character to begin with. Like you can see it on my character sheet here. I'm straight up neutral, but the DM can adjust that, or you as a player, you can adjust that.
I've actually ran into that here a long time when I was playing over in Dalton. There's one guy. He's like, "Oh, I'm going to be lawful good," and then you start doing these chaotic things. I was like, "Yeah, you can't do that."
Exactly. Like I like starting as neutral because that gives you grounds to figure out exactly what you want your character to be.
Yeah. Like for example, something we've talked about. We wanted to do a straight up evil campaign.
It's been a thought, yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought that Descent into Avernus was going to develop into that, but no, Tanner's actually been a lot better about it. He's not been a murder hobo.
Like, for example, that first encounter, you said there's three people getting attacked. Like, it might be bad guys. And then you mentioned children. And me and Tanner like, whoa. You didn't say that. We wouldn't even have talked about it. We would have stepped in and intervened.
I mean, you did anyway, but...
Yeah, we did it anyway, but still, we hesitated.
The situation he's talking about, it was as soon as they got into hell, into the Descent into Avernus, there was...
now, let's just call this D and Doom.
there was a group of demons, like near a village, and they were like messing with these people, and they intervened anyway because they were like, "Oh, we're gonna save these people from these demons."
we did talk about it for like a minute or two.
I mean, your character kind of jumps into anything with the demons anyway because he's a paladin, but
even I hesitated a little bit. I was like, I want to intervene, but they might actually be demons in disguise. We're in hell.
Yeah, they discussed it a little bit, but they still ended up saving those people. And then, like, I had them like take their cloaks off and stuff, and they revealed themselves as kids with their mom. That changed the whole situation. It was one of the funniest.
Tanner's a dad.
Yeah, Tanner's a dad of 2.
I've babysat most of my cousins,
and that made it like that much worse.
Yeah. I got so butthurt. I was like, we hesitated. Something could have happened. You could have killed one of them. They could have been orphans or worse.
I was planning to be honest, but I was gonna have one of the kids get like snatched and taken. It's a campaign in hell, guys.
Yeah.
Don't look at me like that. But the basic gist of the that kind of thing is the alignment kind of shows how your character acts in certain situations.
It's like that window that it shows you how to act.
Yeah, because
like lawful good, act like Captain America. Chaotic good, act like Punisher.
Yeah, that would be a more Punisher.
But if you're like true neutral, I'd say Deadpool. Chaotic neutral. Yeah, he's chaotic neutral.
He'd be chaotic.
Yeah.
But I don't even know what a true neutral. Because I was gonna say like the Watcher from Marvel, but
yeah.
But he even intervenes with the good stuff sometimes, so I don't fully know how you would go with that. But my characters are usually true neutral. Yeah. Like, I usually don't get involved in a situation unless I really feel like I need to.
Even then, that's not really true neutral.
And even then, usually it depends. It depends on the situation. Sometimes I'll be like a little on the more lawful side, or sometimes I'll be a little more on the chaotic side. It depends on the character. This character right here is a little more on the doesn't give a crap side. But he's legitimately a robot. And my rogue character from our original campaign was he bounced all over the place as far as his alignment. Because I killed people.
I kill people. I'm instantly thinking of Helsing Abridged.
But it was one of those, like, it really depends on how you want to play your character.
Yeah.
It's where your alignment lies. Because I usually just go neutral, because that applies to any situation, how you would morally act to it.
Yeah, this message to DMs, do not make your group stick to one alignment.
Exactly. Because some people do that.
It's more entertaining when it's diversity.
Yeah.
It's like my original campaign. We had one true evil character.
I feel like the Star Wars campaign originally worked out pretty well up until the last episode, because we had so many characters with different ideologies. They were all like different from different places.
Like one didn't like women.
Yeah, one was very sexist. One of them was like, I don't care about anyone but money. That was legitimate.
And there's my character, Robo Revolution.
You had the robot revolutionary. You had Tanner's character. I can't remember exactly what he did.
He was just there.
Yeah, he just existed.
He's that one character. He's our Solo.
But
think about it, he was
kind
our
of
Solo.
Yeah. His character, I made everybody make their lightsabers, and I don't remember what anybody looked like. So we'll have to get back to that.
I remember Mark's being ridiculous.
His was actually kind of cool. The idea of it was cool, but
mine was like Cal from.
His was basically like you take two lightsabers and put them in the same hilt, like they combine into the same hilt, but it's two separate blades. Yeah. Kind of. They would be like really close to each other, which in theory looks really cool.
Oh, but that lightsaber actually exists,
and it is a thing in Star Wars. Yeah. And it would, his idea for it was it would split into two, and he could use the dual blades because he was a really good swordsman.
Mine was kind of the same way, but it's like Cal from the Order.
Yeah.
Fallen Order.
Yeah.
Mine was built exactly like his work. They can connect like that, but they can also.
Which is a cool idea. Like They were all pretty neat. I think Tanner's was just a straight up dual blade.
Dual blade or double sided?
It was the double sided, which I think they still called. I don't know. I don't know that much about the lightsabers. I just know the lore about things. But I think we've touched on about anything. But you also, the roleplay side of it is something that we don't get into a whole lot. Like JJ kind of does, and sometimes I do.
Especially when I play two characters.
As a dungeon master, I do sometimes, depending on the situation.
I will say this: if you're playing two characters, do what I do. Change your voice tone. Sometimes that's the only way they knew who they was talking to.
Because JJ plays a whole different way as to the other people we play with.
I get way into character, sometimes too into character.
Because you do get into character and you actually kind of role play a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's why you usually have more inspiration when I'm DMing, because that's the way it works.
Yeah.
You play the character better, you get more inspiration, you get better roles.
There at first, I didn't really do that much.
I've gotten more into it.
Like, to the point where you guys would forget who you're talking to. That's why I started changing my tone.
Yeah.
Like, for example, there was a few instances like, hey, your character should know this. They was talking about this. No. My sorcerer was told this. I'm talking to your sorcerer. That's why I started changing my tone. Like, as my barbarian, I did that deep voice.
I started doing stuff like that in some of the other campaigns. I think the best one was the Rick and Morty one. There was an evil wizard in that.
Evil wizard?
It was the dumbest voice. It was like Lemon Grab from...
Unacceptable!
But it was funny. They loved it.
It was hilarious.
But it was just like a random thing I did. Because up until that point, I didn't really do the whole roleplay thing. Even as a DM, I didn't
fun.
I didn't do the voices. I didn't do that kind of thing. And
It's more fun than it sounds.
Yeah, because I've gotten more comfortable with being on camera and doing the voices and stuff like that.
I will say this, on a side note, there is such thing as too much.
Yeah, you can go too far, yeah.
For example, my first campaign, first time I was DMing, somehow I wound up playing as 12 different characters. At one point, I had an argument with myself.
Oh, that's like, I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say his name. That's like Mark during that one session where he was bouncing around between like 3 different characters and he was in their like full mindsets and he had to stop because he was like, this is hurting my brain. Because he was legitimately playing 4 characters in one scene, bouncing back and forth, and he was like basically just talking to himself.
Everyone has that one limit. Apparently mine's 12.
his was just because it was so serious, I think.
Yeah.
And he was getting into it. He had different voices for each character, and like it was just the way it happened. That's how you want to DM, but you don't want to go that far.
Too much strain on your brain.
It's like your brain hurts after a while.
Me, I'm already weird. You heard stories.
And like
I have a farther limit.
JJ goes further, yeah. But Tanner has a whole different approach when he plays. I wish he was here so he could talk about it, but he kind of plays more off the cuff, I guess. He does kind of get into character sometimes.
I will say this: he's mainly our Wolverine,
and I will tell you,
everyone has that go-to persona.
Yeah,
that's his persona, the go-to.
I will tell you right now, his character that he's playing in the current campaign that we're running is completely different than his original character.
Yeah,
because originally his character in Mark's campaign would kill everything, not ask questions. He was kind of more of a barbarian than the barbarian he's playing in this campaign.
Yeah.
And it was very cool and it was fun, but like he learned over time that the characters need to be different than each other. So his new character thinks about things before he does them.
He calculates situations.
He's a lot more strategic.
Yeah.
And he's learned over the years, and that's something that I'm proud of because I've been there for that.
Yeah, we're there. We took these baby steps. He did his first walk, his first step.
We were there because his first session was my first session.
I will say this: some players aren't compatible.
That happens. We've had that in pet farms.
In my original group,
the way that we've learned to play D&D is you take a group with friends and you sometimes sprinkle in some people that you're not super close to.
Yeah.
And that's like the best like mold for that. Because the 3 of us that are still in the group, we're all old friends. We've been friends for years. JJ's been in pet farms since the beginning. So me and him have been very close for years.
Again, we compete with similar personalities.
Well, it's because we're both super nerdy. I'm pretty chill. I'm pretty chill. JJ's pretty chill for the most part.
And then there's situations where I come up with words like ball sphincter and feargasm.
And
trademark.
And Tanner over here is the chaotic one that does random crap just to make people laugh. But
yeah.
We have our strengths and weaknesses, and you got to kind of think about that when you're making your D&D group. And that's something that's words to live by right there.
Oh yeah.
Because your group is going to determine how well the campaign turns out.
Oh yeah.
Because
in some situations, how the group acts completely flips over the campaign.
Yeah, because like you can completely.
Example, one of the campaigns I played, my cousin was running it. One of my cousins was running it, and it went from being a basic campaign to where you get your own fortress and stuff, and you use your money you find throughout the campaign and build it up.
That's actually.
We wound up having giant trolls as guards.
But it all depends on the group, because if your group can work together really well, you can have things like that happen.
Yeah, compatible players.
Or you end up with a campaign with players that are fighting each other on ships, and dice gets thrown at people.
I don't know which campaign you're talking about. I have not been hit with any dice yet.
That was a different person.
Yeah.
I was actually a lot different when I tossed dice at that person. So. I got really angry right there.
Oh yeah.
But it was like
that's his sore spot.
It was like a split second thing because it was like that anger just pulsing in my head, and I just like poured the dice. Well, as I was still talking, just went back to what I was doing, and he's just sitting there like.
I think I know what situation.
What?
I think I know what situation got Tanner to learn about it. To start thinking things. Facepalm. He made that one decision that made every one of us go.
I don't even remember what you're talking.
He gave something to a Fae.
Oh yeah.
He did that.
That was a while ago.
I know. It was me, you, Mark. All three of us went. Oh, God. And it led to him getting married and consummating said marriage.
Well, technically, that didn't completely happen, but that episode is the highest viewed episode on our entire page.
Which one? The consummation of that marriage?
Yeah.
Or...
Yeah. That one has 10,000 views on it.
Go figure.
But it's also like 4 hours of us just goofing off.
Yeah.
I think you were in it for a little bit. I was in it for...
like...
I was just sitting off in the corner. You can barely see me in the video. I'm just like sitting there, just like laughing to myself.
Back then, all you really did was you developed since then, of course, but you were basically just our tech guy at first.
That's kind of the way it worked for a while, and then I kind of took over as the on-camera personality.
Yeah,
and I'm a lot more like moving and.
I'd like to say D&D helped you with that. It helped
a little bit, yeah,
more social.
A little bit. I mean, I was already starting to develop a more social personality, but doing this for years, the D&D on top of the streaming and stuff, that's kind of helped.
Yeah.
But talking about the group thing, if you have someone that's a little toxic, I'm just going to say don't keep that in your group.
Yeah.
From personal experience, don't do that.
There was one I temporarily co-DM'd with over... I used to play D&D, and at one point I stepped away because I had to go use the bathroom, come back, and we were in a completely different situation, different area, and we were doing the dragon campaign. Like that first dragon, you're not meant to kill it. One that was circle.
Oh yeah.
You're not meant to kill that. That dragon's supposed to leave. He added an NPC who's basically freaking Dracula. And I don't mean regular Dracula either. I mean Alucard Dracula. Yeah.
I've added some crazy stuff into campaigns
like
before, but
the weirdest one is when I released The Resident Chain God. He did help with character development though. Although I managed to make one of our players almost cry because
the most controversial thing we've done D&D Star Wars thing was the girl of Star Wars.
Yes. The dungeon. I won't say the other word.
I
was that the only one that didn't die there?
Well, yeah, that was just a show of power.
Oh, I know, but I was really
that episode's gonna be rebooted, by the way, and that's where we'll pick back up when we get back into it.
That was completely
because she's got time power, so I can just use that as a canon reason why.
Even though we did drop her off on my campaign.
Yeah. We'll just kind of.
Yeah.
She legitimately has a time power, so I'm probably just gonna use that as like a scapegoat to like reboot that part.
Yeah.
Because
she's our Flashpoint character.
Yeah, kind of. Because she's gonna reset a little bit of the timeline, but not the whole thing. Which is totally fine.
Yeah.
Because actually, I have a better idea. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it.
Even though you want to, I've been in those situations.
I really want to, but I'm not going to.
Yeah.
But this video and this chain of videos, because this is probably going to get broken up into multiple videos. These videos are about trying to help you guys figure out D&D. So I think we did a decent job of explaining everything.
Most of the stuff you can only pick up through experience.
It is a very experience-based thing.
Again, as long as you stick as long as you actually read the player's handbook, you're good.
And you use that from the ground up.
Yeah.
You can
And
find all the
and
information for your
And
characters.
certain, like, for example, certain spells work differently depending on who's DMing.
Yeah.
Rules, like the DM's handbook is basically guidelines, not rules.
It legitimately tells you in the beginning of the DM's handbook that that book is just there as a guideline.
Yes.
It legitimately, out in writing
So
in the
don't
beginning
treat
of the book says that.
In other words, don't treat that as your D&D Bible.
That is
That was my first DM's problem.
that is your Bible.
Yes.
That book right there. The DM guide is a guide.
Yes.
That is why it's called a guide. It is your guidelines. That is not your rules.
A lot of it stuff you can just pick up on Wiki.
a lot of it is internet research
Yeah.
and stuff that you can just find on the internet.
Yeah.
Because D&D is not set up to be a specific type of a game. It is set up to be different for every single campaign.
Yeah. Like, for example, if you want to up the difficulty, let's say your character's sneaking in like a cave. To up the difficulty, have them roll with disadvantage because of echoing.
Or even, it's cold and wet. You could have the little tip tap noises from the water dripping off the top of the cave, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like a whole different ball game when you have different people doing it. Because
Oh yeah.
legit, you just saw right there, we had two different ideas of how to approach a freaking cave.
Yeah. Again, depends on the DM.
It depends on how you're approaching the situation.
Like
how you,
the first time I did the dragon campaign, I used that, and then afterwards I was like, screw it.
yeah, because that campaign has gone two different ways completely.
Yeah.
Like we got way further in it the second time with 2 players
Yes.
than we did with 5. So
There's times it was boring because we don't have that diversity.
yeah, because we have 2 people playing,
That's why I added that one character adds a little extra diversity, but
and
even that didn't fully help.
I mean, I got a person that can play, but he's 17, and he's a little shy. But he's starting to get a lot less shy because he's streaming.
Yeah.
So
Again, streaming does help.
it'll help him. He doesn't mind hearing his own voice and that kind of thing now, so it's a lot less.
In other words, right now he's the type of shy where,
The only thing now is the way this table is made. We can only fit about 4 people at this table.
Yeah.
Maybe 5.
Yeah.
But if you get four people our size, it's gonna be a little bit harder to. We're not tiny people.
It's like me. I know plenty of people who know how to play, but their situations is finding a way to get to the record punctuality.
Yeah, I had a
There's
guy
also
that was
that.
lined up to actually play with us, and he lives in a different city. But for a while there, he didn't have transportation, so that was a big issue. And now it's just he's like COVID. And I was like, you know what? If you're scared of it, that's totally fine.
Don't get me wrong. There's times I don't wear my mask, but look,
And really,
for example, let's say you go to church. If you're around those people 24/7, if one of them has it, you already have it.
exactly. And the thing with us getting together is we all have had to have the testing and stuff done, and we've
Yeah.
been around people that have had it.
I got lucky though, because I had to take the test whenever they stopped doing it all the way to the brain. Now they just go they go just far enough to where it's just uncomfortable.
That brain tickle sounded really bad. I haven't had to be tested yet because I haven't really run into anybody that had it.
Which you were self-isolated before
Yeah,
it got bad.
I've been stuck at home for 6 months. But I mean, whatever works for everybody. But we know the thing we were trying to get across there is we know we don't have it.
Yes.
Because we've all quarantined, we've all done our thing. Anytime anybody's coming.
And that's it for another episode of Peculiar Prattling. I want to thank you guys for watching the episode again. I'd like to plug mypire.com. Put in code PETFARMS for 10% off your purchase when you're in the checkout. I think it goes after actually putting in your pay information and stuff. I think you can put it in. It could be before. But I'd also like to thank you guys for watching this series. Any views being put on this series is awesome, because I didn't think anybody would actually just watch us rambling about random crap. And it's super fun. It was super crazy and took forever for me and JJ to record an entire series of episodes, but that's what happens when you get two friends together. We just sat and talked for about 3 hours, so you'll see a lot more of these videos. I'd say cutting it up from 3 hours, there's probably another, let's say this is episode 2 of me and JJ. I'm only an hour, probably like 50 minutes, an hour or something like that into the cutting it up. So there's still probably 4 more videos coming up of this, and I'll try to cut in some new ones and stuff like that. But hopefully you guys are enjoying this, and I'll see you guys in the next episode of Peculiar Prattling. Bye-bye.